Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5-7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, and we're ready to bring you Thursday Night Thunder. Little triple header tonight. We got the small blocks first, the big blocks next, and then the pro lates come out to play. And of course, as always, Travis Piercefield with Extreme eSpeed TV will be there to bring you the ladder of the third, but it's going to be a good night tonight. I appreciate Travis for filling in for me last weekend. Wasn't feeling all that well. Good to be back. And I expect some good racing here at the Big O, home of Super Dirt Week. It's got a special place in our man Dean Reynolds' heart. That's for sure. He's a big piece of that puzzle, but scrolling through here, is Dino here? Oh, yeah, okay, he is. False alarm. I was worried we didn't have a Dino here with us tonight, but there he is. See him out there on the racetrack. He's got sporting a different scheme than I'm used to seeing, a little black and red action. I dig it. The VMR Wrap 79. I believe that's VMR Wrap. Yeah, it says it on the side. Well, actually, with that, we're going to bring warm-ups to a close, and we're going to get ready to go qualifying here at the Big O. Last I saw, 29 cars were in the session. We only take 24 to the feature, so going to have to race your butt off tonight, put in a good qualifying effort, and finish in the top 4 in your heat to punch your ticket into the show. Let's see who the furthest up the road. Looks like it's Scott Rayon. see what's going on with the 4 here. Takes lap number 1, and now you know the deal. Pay attention to the bottom of the screen. Purple's quicker than anyone. Green's their personal best, and you don't want that yellow. That means you're slow. Pay attention what Scott Rayom got coming off of 4. Him and Kurt Schatzer cross around the same time, but Mike Weida, until Randy Shreves in the 56 dethrones the man, and then the previous guy we were talking about, Dean Reynolds, he's P2, but we see a purple. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, steals the torch. Good lap for the Ant-Man in the 32 as he hugs the bottom through 3 and 4. Can he find a little more speed? Doesn't look like it. Gonna have to stick with lap number 1, but great qualifying effort for the Ant-Man. His teammate Sam Bachman, second time around, does improve, but not enough to get to the Ant-Man, who out-qualifies the field 0.2 of a second. Clay Christopherson solidifies an FTM top 3 qualifying effort. As well, actually not over just yet. Butch Baker out here on the racetrack. Kelly Wheeler, 2. So 2 guys yet to, that could spoil the FTM party, but they ran out of time here, as you're going to see them disappear. Only have the 2 minutes to qualify. Got to go out there, be on the ball. And caught slacking and only going to get 1 lap in as we take a look here. Heat race should be 1 of 4, I would imagine. Starting on the outside of row number 4 in the 175, Andy Piercefield, into his inside, the 94 of Gary Offit. Row number 3, the 247 of Michael Vecchio lines up on the outside, into his inside, the 099 of Glenn Sharp. Row number 2, your pole sitter, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, to the outside, and the 44 of Jacob Massa to the inside. Row number 1 for heat race number 1. To the outside in the 81, Mike Weida, and to his inside, the 444 of Scott Rayom. Get ready to roll here. Heat race number 1 about set. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 underway. The boys ready to play. Here at the Big O, Scott Rayom slows that thing down, gets it to hook up right along the inside wall. Great run for the 444, trying to walk away, and the Ant-Man's trying to hook that fishing line, to the rear end of his teammate. He's getting pulled up on through. Started 4th after qualifying on the pole. Up to seconds, only taking him a lap and a half. Can the Ant-Man get to work? As we watch him come out of 4. Single file pretty much through the field. Gary Offit, 6th place, looking up at 5th. And Glenn Sharp, of course, that last man not making it. Needs to make something happen. Needs to go up there and start battling with the 44 of Jacob Mossow and the 81 of Mike Weida. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. The Ant-Man gets to the bottom, trying to make quick work of his teammate, and he does just that. Anthony Morano to the front. That's half the battle here at the Big O. If he can get up front, win this heat race, he's going to start on the pole for tonight's feature, and get that 32 glued down to the bottom, he's going to be a tough egg to crack, and we'll have to see if he can hold on. Let's go back, check out Glenn Sharp one more time. Losing touch a little bit here with the field, or with the top 4, excuse me, and it's looking like the 099. He's going to need some big help in order to make this race, and I just don't think Jacob Mossow and Mike Weida are willing to beat each other up too bad here. As Scott Rayom back to the lead, Anthony Morano must have gotten into that inside wall. Something not looking right on that 32. Gonna have to try to work out the kinks here, try to bring this thing home, but something definitely astray on this 32 machine. Can't see this checkered flag come quick enough as the white flag flies one more trip around. Can Anthony hold on to P2? Or can the 81 on Mike Guida find a way to sling that thing on by side as we go into 3 and 4? Checkered flag waves into 4:44 of Scott Rayome wins heat race number 1. Anthony Morano holds on. Mike Guida P3 and Jacob Massa, your top 4 final transfer. Glenn Sharp, Gary Offit, Michael Vecchio, and Andy Piercefield if he does decide to show to the B main. Heat race number 2, starting on the outside of row number 4. In the 4, Greg Parmalee, and to his inside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. Row number 3, to the outside, the 97 of Butch Baker, and to his inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Row number 2 for heat race number 2, to the outside, the 007 James Bond, Samuel Bachman, and to his inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row number 1, whoever wins heat race number 2 starts on the outside of the front row for tonight's feature. The 055 of Brian Moore Sr. lines up on the outside of the 213. Michael Vitale for row number 1. And row 1 hold on, or we get another FTM spoil here. Can Sam Bachman find a way to mimic Anthony Morano? Get up there from 4th to 1st. What a long time to figure it out here as we roll through 3 and 4. Drivers checking up, bouncing around the 213, set to drop the hammer. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 2 underway. 8 laps to play. Mr. Wednesday Night, the outside wall here early. He's going to lose a spot to Randy Shreves quick. He's got to find a way to stop the bleeding. Able to do just that. Gets a great run off the top shelf in turn 2. Randy Shreves mounting the charge here. He got that good start after Brian Moore got into the wall, but actually Brian's kind of coming back at him. And when we see Butch Baker, he's got to woe it up. Noticing the desktop racing sounds a little loud. Sorry, trying to cut that down a little bit. My apologies, but 3 wide here in a battle for second to the inside. James Bond trying to sneak his way on through, but you make it 3 wide, it's not easy to sneak on by. He's going to have to figure something out, try to find some grip that nobody else can find. Just can't keep the throttle up coming out of the corner. Loses too much momentum in the 56 of Randy Shreves. Proven to be too much, pinching him down. But Sam Bachman not going away. Side by side here as they enter 3. Randy Shreves gives him no room. Sam Bachman really has to let out. And boy, oh boy, the 213 of Michael Vitale looks up in the mirror, big smile on his face, loving what he sees behind him. Sam Bachman up to that top shelf. Now Randy Shreves to the bottom, but Sam Bachman, here he comes in the 007. You see him inching ever so closer to the bottom in 1 and 2. Pass for the lead. Michael Vitale overdrives the entry. Looks back here to the bottom in 3 and 4, but this is where Sam Bachman wants to be. We saw him get that big run last lap, and he does it once again. 2 to go here at the Big O. Whoa, contact. Kelly Wheeler really getting pushed out there. He's going to lose out. Going to fall almost back to 8th here. Will be 8th if Bob DeGood can make this pass, but white flag flies. One more trip around for the 007. He watched his teammate go from 4th to 1st. He saw the blueprint, and he followed it to a T. Sam Bachman, final time through 3 and 4. Ready to see that checkered flag wave, and it's going to be an FTM front row for the start of the night's feature. Michael Vitale, Randy Shreves, and Brian Moore Sr. punch their ticket. Butch Baker, Greg Parmalee, Kelly Wheeler, and Bob DeGood to the B main. As we get ready here for heat race number 3, starting lineup's going to look a little something like this. Jason Butterfield starts on the inside of row number 4. Outside of row 3, Joe Massow in the 19. Into his inside, the 011 of Randall Dixon. Putt-putt, Clay Christopherson lines up on the outside of row number 2. Into his inside, his teammate in the 79, Dean Reynolds. Superman lines up on the outside of row number 1 here for heat race number 3. Into his inside, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. As normally my overlay goes funky here, heat race. Oh my gosh, it didn't. I was warning you guys that it would probably look bad, and I was going to refresh it, but hey. Sometimes you get lucky, and well, as we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time, the 99 of Gavin Chatham set to bring us to the green flag. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. Heat race number 3 underway. Gavin with a good run on the bottom through 1 and 2. Kurt Schatzer trying to find a way to power around the 79. May have preferred ground here, though, through 3 and 4 if he can mimic that 007. But just can't find the run that Sam Bachman had, and it looks like the bottom's where you want to be if you're not Sam Bachman through 3 and 4. It's just nobody else finding that power that he seems to have, and we're watching him fan out here, staying in the faraway view. Oh, contact! Joe Massow gets into the back of Randall Dixon, and he goes around. Tough break for the 19, but gonna have to race his way through the B main. Not gonna be easy. They were 3 wide coming off of 2. Dino takes the momentum off the top shelf. He prevails. He's really making that thing sing through 3 and 4, but seems like you want to get to that bottom in 1 and 2. Now Dino does just that. Maybe the middle leaves a half a lane open for putt-putt. He thought about going for it, but you don't want to race your teammate too hard. And right now we got an FTM 1, 2, 3. You don't want to be the one to spoil that party. Putt-putt looking back downstairs. He says, Dino, you keep overdriving 1. I'm going to have to go for it. But now he may become bait here for the 218. Kurt Schatzer swinging the high side through 3 and 4. Randall Dixon looking to come along and join the party. Putt-putt's got to hit it this time. He's got to find a way to get under Kurt Schatzer. Not able to. He's going to slide up in front here. Try to secure P4. You don't want to have to go to the B main, and being able to get up there and block a little bit is going to do just that as Gavin Chatham 2 more trips around Oswego Speedway. You see the white flag flying, 1 more trip around. Gavin just needs to be smooth here. Doesn't need to be perfect. Half a second lead over his teammate in the 79. So I wouldn't expect a big send here. Final time through 3 and 4. Dino looks low. The 99 goes high. The checkered flag flies. And Gavin Chatham takes home heat race number 3. Dean Reynolds, Kurt Schatzer, and Clay Christopherson to the A main. Randall Dixon, Jason Butterfield, and Joe Massow to the B. As we get ready for our 4th and final heat race of the evening for the small block modifieds on the inside of row number 4, the 21 of John DeBias. Row number 3 to the outside in the 88, Soupy Dan McLaren. Into his inside, the Deuce, Harold Klump. Row number 2 to the outside in the 518, Joseph 100, Grandy. And to his inside, the 122 of Brian Dickens. Row number 1 for heat race number 4 to the outside in the 89. Mason hit him with the hind. And starting on the pole in the 513, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And well, I jinxed myself there. I wasn't ready to refresh it this time because it normally doesn't happen in heat race number 4. We're going to refresh it for you guys. We'll worry about me in a little bit because this league, I know most of these paints by heart. Been around for a long time with these guys, but as the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. Heat race number 4 underway. The Brewerton Beast drops the hammer. Can he get the run off the bottom of 1 and 2 here to secure the lead? Mason Hine gets a little sideways, bounces up. Joseph Grandy disappears through that little glitch hole in the wall. He's gone. Dan McLaren loops around, and just like that, 2 cars going to the B main here early on without some serious help. I mean, Dan McLaren, he does still stand a chance, but you're looking at the top 5 here. John DeBias outside looking in. Needs to race that 21 machine on his way up 1 spot. Can Mason Hine hold on? He struggled early through 1 and 2 and just doesn't seem to have the grip. Jeff Barker, meanwhile, out front, looking good as the 122 Brian Dickens. Maybe looking a little better, reeling in the 513. Plenty of time to play, 5 laps to go at Oswego. Jeff Barker doing a good job of running that middle line through 1 and 2, kind of like Dino was, not allowing that bottom groove. It is enticing though. It makes you want to send it in there. You think I can go a little lower. Brian doing it now, trying to go that half a lane lower, but just not enough. Jeff's not right against the wall, but there's not enough room between him and the wall to allow that pass to happen. So Brian's going to have to maybe get a little physical here, get the elbows out. 3 laps to go. Through 1 and 2, Brian reels him in on entry. Going to flirt with the top shelf here on exit. Does he go to the top in 3 and 4? Yes, he does, with Jeff Barker going to slide up in front of him. The 122 looking for a little counter. As we're 2 to go, Brian Dickens giving him all he can. Overdrives the entrance of 1 and 2, and he just may have saw his chance at winning this thing slip away. Only 4 more turns to go when they get out of 4 this time as the white flag flies. 1 more trip around. Jeff Barker started up front, looking to finish there. Final time through 3 and 4. Hit his marks, ran a perfect race. He sees the checkered flag, and he's going to start 4th for tonight's feature. Brian Dickens, Harold Klumpen, Mason Hine punched their ticket. John DeBias, Dan McLaren, and Joseph Grandy to the B main. As we get ready for tonight's B main, let's take a look here at the starting lineup. On the outside of row number 7, the 7 of Bob DeGood, and to his inside, the 175 of Andy Piercefield. Row number 6, the 518 of Joseph Grandy lines up on the high side, and to his inside, the 19 of Joe Mossow. Row 5, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler to the outside, and the 247 of Michael Vecchio to the inside. Row number 4, the 88 Soupy Dan McLaren, into his inside, the 93 of Butters Jason Butterfield. Row number 3, the 4 of Greg Parmalee to the outside, and the 94 of Gary Offit to the inside. Row 2, the 21 of Blackjack John DeBias, and to his inside, the 011 of Randall Dixon. Row 1 for your B main, the 97 of Butch Baker to the outside, the 099 of Glenn Sharp to the inside. Top 8 make the show as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Your B main underway. Time to go play. Who can punch their ticket to tonight's 358 A main? Let me keep an eye on that battle for 8th here. As you see there, 2-3 wide. Jason Butterfield was holding on to that for a little bit, moved on up to P7, back to 8 as they go back and forth. The 93, the last man to make it in this show, is the battle on behind him. Joe Massau goes a little low. Oh, Michael Vecchio goes across the nose of the 518. Tobias comes down, gets in front of the 7 of Bob DeGood. Lots of cars upset after that one, but 9-car pack up front. $100,000. The last guy on the outside looking in. It ain't looking too good for Joseph Grandy either right now. This is a difficult track to pass at. I mean, you're able to go in the bottom here in 3 and 4. People will leave it open, but it's because you want that run off the top. But oh man, Joe Massau already in the show, maybe getting a little too aggressive, gets into the outside of gets into the inside of the 93, Jason Butterfield, and man, now he may lose that 8th and final transfer spot. Joseph Grandy looking to the inside. Can he beat him to the line? He does. He shuts the door. I don't know if I'd give up the bottom in 1 and 2, but $100,000 likes that top shelf. It's a big run going down the backstretch, but oh man, I don't know if I'd entice that guy to come up and get into me, but it looks like Joseph knows a little more than Shaggy does. Moves on up into 8th place. 5 laps to go. Whoa, Gary Offit getting a little sketchy in front of Joseph Grandy in that 94. Almost had a little bit of a pile up. Guys got to remember, they're in the show. You best behave. You don't want to get involved in something. And speaking of getting involved in something, slide job, Butch Baker decides I'm not lifting. Gets into the back of, I believe that's, oh man, we got a car disappear. Soupy. Oh, no, we got to bring up, I'm sorry, we got to bring up the iRacing here because this is the only way we'll close this. He gets into that inside wall, hits the opening, and disappears. So now we've got our top 8 up at the front. And Bob DeGood, where is he? He's P9. Michael Vecchio finds his way into the show. Lots of cars bouncing out. Butch Baker. Oh, man. Guys just overly aggressive here when they're already in the show. And the white flag flies. One more trip around for your leader, Randall Dixon. Got up front, stayed up there. Didn't want to mess around with the drama, and it's a good thing he didn't. Randall Dixon punches his ticket to tonight's A-Main, along with Kelly Wheeler, Glenn Sharp, Jason Butterfield, Gary Offit, Joe Massau, Joseph Grandy, and Michael Vecchio. Bob DeGood, Dan McLaren, Butch Baker, John Tobias, Greg Parmley, and Andy Piercefield. Better luck next week. As we take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with your 358 feature here at the Oswego Speedway. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for your Full Throttle Motorsports Venom Racing 358 Modified feature. Gonna be... Well, I want to tell you it's going to be a good one. I'm really hoping it's going to be, and I'm going to put that out there, but man, oh man, it could get physical. It looks like it wants to be a one-lane racetrack. Gonna hope the guys behave and get along, but man, oh man, it could get rough. Guys seem to want to be up along that high side now. Maybe a few will be able to make the bottom work, but we'll see what we get here when we roll into tonight's A main. Anthony Morano was your quick time there in warm-ups, but that really doesn't mean a whole lot here. Matters where you finish at the end of the feature, but let's go ahead and take a look at that starting lineup. Running out the field, outside of row number 12, Michael Vecchio into his inside, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row number 11 to the high side, Joe Massow into his inside, Gary Offit. Row 10 to the high side, Butters, Jason Butterfield into his inside, Glenn Sharp. Row number 9, Kelly Wheeler takes the high side, and to his inside, Randall Dixon. Row 8 to the high side, Mason hit him with the hind, and to his inside, putt-putt, Clay Christopherson. Row number 7, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr., and to his inside, the 44 of Jacob Massow. Row number 6, on the outside, the 2 of Harold Klump, and to his inside, the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Row number 5, on the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves, and to his inside, the 81 of Mike Weeda. Row number 4, on the outside, the 122 of Brian Dickens, and to his inside, the 79 of Dino Dean Reynolds. Row 3, the 213 of Michael Vitale lines up on the outside, and to his inside, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Row number 2, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker lines up on the high side, and to his inside, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. Row 1 for your feature here at Oswego Speedway to the high side, James Bond, Sam Bachman into his inside, Scott Rayome as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 30 laps to play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. Your 358 modified feature is underway. Scott Rayome trying to find that grip on the inside, but Anthony Morano goes around early. Parking lot. Whoa. Oh, man. I had to cough. You heard that, saying that. Whoa. This is probably the biggest pileup we have ever seen in Coast to Coast, and I believe it starts with the 32 of Anthony Morano getting some help here on the restart. Let's see. We'll speed it up, and then we'll slow it down here. Pay attention to the inside. So Anthony Morano, that white and teal car, he drives in. He gets some help from Dino. Dino gets into the back of him, and from there, we got a big mess in aisle 2. Right in the middle. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars involved. Now, Mr. Wednesday Night back here, I believe that's Brian Moore Sr., he almost comes to a complete stop. Gonna show you exactly what Brian Moore Sr. saw. This was the start of his race. They are just stacking up. He is nowhere to go, and he actually was involved. I thought he slowed down. Oh, maybe make that 14. Every single car back here involved in some way, shape, or form. And man, That is really going to shake up the point standings, I'd imagine. Going to give some guys who never thought they'd have a chance in this race a real chance. Joe Mossow started 22nd up to 11th. Michael Vecchio 24th up to 12th. Unbelievable. Anything can happen. And man, oh man, we're only one lap into this thing here. As the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. We're back underway at Oswego Speedway. Not too sure there. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but it looks like caution laps are counting. It's got us on lap 5. We'll have to see if that changes, but right now Scott Rayome leads the way. Sam Bachman looking to the outside. Jeff Barker gets into the wall. Jeff Barker! Where is Barker? Able to hold on, but he's got a lot of damage on that 513. He was up in 4th. Falls all the way back, and Jeff Barker, what a heartbreak for the 513 is Gavin Chatham. Looking to join his teammates here, get involved a little bit in this party. Trying to move on up to P2. Can he get by his teammate in the 007? Dean Reynolds involved in that early accident, trying to race his way up to 8th. He's got his teammate in the 51 behind him. Putt. He looks to the inside. They make a little contact in the middle. Dino, you can see that thing. It's got a lot of damage, man. It is not driving straight. Gonna see if we can get you a good view at this. It is just cockeyed. You can see it. Everyone else is just straight. He's just pointed out to the right, and that's gonna be a tough one to nurse home for this 79, but without another caution, it's what he's gonna have to do. And these 3 up front, they are having some fun. They know they have a big gap to P4. Time to play a little bit. Scott Rayome in the middle. Gavin going down in the cellar. And look at Sam Bachman needling his way through the attic. Trying to creep around upstairs. And man, he found some grip there in the middle of the corner. Here he comes. Table of 3 as we enter 1, almost 3 wide. Man, they're battling hard back here in the back, too. Joseph Grandy, remember, he had to come through the B main. He's up 10 spots, up to 13th, 100 grand. Trying to knife his way on up through. He's got Joe Mossow and Randall Dixon battling hard. Randall to the inside, Joe to the high side. Anthony Morano. Not too sure what happened there to the Anthony was already up there. He's racing his way back up after being turned. And well, if you look to his inside, I know they're teammates, but that's the man who got him. And you got to see, does Dino give him a little more space here as we ride off the left front? Anthony Morano trying to race his way up into the top 10. He's got Randall Dixon to his inside, Dino right up in front. Let's go check on that battle for the lead. It's looking good, and it's looking like James Bond found the grip up there. New leader Sam Bachman with 19 to go. That's a lifetime here at Oswego. You got to make sure you keep these tires underneath you. You got a lot of grip for when it matters. This track is starting to look like a sheet of ice out there. You got to be soft on the throttle. You got to treat it like you would your loved one. Clay Christopherson at the back of the train here in 8 cars. So Gavin Chatham got to the inside wall. He gets a little shot from Brian Dickens. He gets moved up the track. If he looks to his inside, he's got the 213, Michael Vitale. He's got to get on the binders. That could have been a bad one. Clay Christopherson, though, we saw him. He was at the end of this train. He took advantage of that checkup, was able to get under the 56 of Randy Shreves, who just overdrove 3 and 4, got into the outside wall. And Anthony Morano still on the outside of Randall Dixon and $100 grand. The Inferno Motorsports driver looking to come play a little bit. He wants up in the top 10. Halfway home, 15 laps to go for James Bond. Starting to drive away a little bit. Got quite the gap over Scott Rayome. And, well, Gavin Chatham, he had that Full Throttle Motorsports top 3. Got into the inside wall in 3 and 4. And since then has been trying to recoup, get back to 3rd. But the caution flag flies. Gonna have to see. It's looking like we were watching these two battle hard earlier. What happened between the Ant-Man and the 011? Randall Dixon inside wall, and Anthony Morano gonna go around for the second time here this evening. Randall Dixon then gets into him one more time, and just like that, Anthony Morano, he's going to wonder if he can write this one off on the taxes here. Tearing up a lot of stuff in the 358 modifieds. Pretty good race so far, only the 2 cautions. Has been racing hard, they've been racing clean. I thought we honestly were going to be in for a little bit more of a caution fest. I mean, I had said as much leaving warm-ups as soon as warm-ups was over, and then turn 1, lap 1, we get a caution. Excuse me for my hiccups. But then the drivers calm down, and we get a 15-lap green flag run. Not easy to do here in the dirt at Oswego. And, well, you know, Shaggy does that other league there at 9-10. So I appreciate the long green flag runs. It's definitely nice. Helps the show move along. There we go. The laps did reset the last time. Maybe it just took a little bit and I didn't notice, but caution laps aren't counting, so that's good to know here. As the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. Sam Bachman set to drop the hammer. We're back underway. Gavin Chatham, I'm a little surprised by that. Normally, you know, you'd get a team countdown there, you'd think, and well, Scott Rayome and Gavin Chatham, they really lost out to the 122 of Brian Dickens, who started this thing 8th, has moved up to 2nd. Great run for the 1 Double Deuce. Putt down to the inside here. Remember, he was battling at the back of that train. Able to get by Dino. Able to work around Joseph Grandy. This guy's got a lot of speed and even more talent sitting in the driver's seat. Can the 51 get up here and play for the podium? He's in P5. Superman in the outside wall. Kurt Schatzer, is he able to get it rolling again? He is, but a lot of damage to the right front. It's just going to be lucky to nurse this one home. Here's the 518 and the 79 battling hard. The 213 gets into the outside wall. Gavin Chatham gets into him, and it opens the door for Randy Shreves. Here comes the 56. 3 wide coming off of 4. Gavin Chatham trying to make it work up there. The wide way around in 1 and 2. Randy Shreves thinks about shutting the door, but he leaves him a lane, and Gavin's going to take advantage, drive it back in upstairs. Meanwhile, your leader, Sam Bachman, he can call an order of pizza. He's almost got a 2nd lead here over the 122, not feeling much pressure. Brian Dickens, same as well. He's trying to hunt down this leader. He can experiment, though, a little bit. He's got FTM teammates racing for the final podium spot there behind him. And Clay Christopherson, man, oh man, what a night for this old 51. Involved in the lap 1 incident. Already didn't have the best starting spot. Able to recover from that and drives his way on up to 4th, possibly 3rd, looking to the inside of the 444. Dean Reynolds trying to work up through. He's got Joseph Grandy behind him, Harold Klump behind him as the 3rd caution flag waves. Brian Moore Sr. involved. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the 055. The 32 to his inside. Brian Moore, car low, just turns down into the 32, and well, Anthony gets a little sideways. Brian shoots up the racetrack, bounces off the wall hard. Down in front of the 89 on Mike Weida. And then I believe, who was that there in the back? Not too sure there. You saw another driver involved as well. And, well, that's what happens. Guys just getting real aggressive here, running out of time. And, Anthony Morano didn't do anything wrong at all. Clearly was there. 3/4 of the car's there. And when somebody turns down India, the car doesn't necessarily respond the greatest. He tries to turn his way through the corner. You can see how loose he gets even after they peel off of each other. Nothing the Ant-Man could do there. Lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car, and we'll get ready to go back racing here at Oswego. A 5-lap shootout. Brian Dickens started the last restart in 3rd, I believe. Was able to jump up to 2nd, taking advantage of a good restart. Can he keep with the leader? And try and go battle here with the 007 of Sam Bachman as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 5 laps to play as we're back underway at Oswego Speedway. Looking like it's on there for P3. Clay Christopherson immediately back downstairs. Trying to go back to work on his teammate in the 444 who hooks the outside wall, goes around in front of Randy Shreves, then Joseph Grandy. Big pile up on the front stretch here at Oswego. Randy to the inside, Scott to the outside. Know where the 56 of the 518 could go. We saw it happen live. Scott Rayome hooks it into the outside wall, and let's see if we can go back, figure out what happened here. We got to go back a little further than this. You see, he just goes up there, and it's a little glitch with the outside walls here. We've seen the 518 there was involved. He disappeared in a heat race, and Scott Rayome becomes a victim here. The right rear gets sucked into the outside wall, loops around. Randy Shreves nowhere he could go. And man, oh man, Scott Rayome, he was racing for a podium spot. Now, just trying to race his way back into the top 15. Tough break for the 444. If you're out there watching, let us know who you're rooting for here. Little 4-lap shootout when we go back. Can the 007 hold on? Can Brian Dickens find a way to wheel that thing around? He's running out of time. The green flag's high. It's set to wave. 4 laps to go, fellas. Let's behave. Let's see if we can get this thing to the checkered flag. Man, oh man, you see behind, they already bounced out there. They were 3 wide. Dino was in the middle. Man, good run here by the 79. Still has some damage on that right front, but doing a good job of working his way back on up through the field is the 122 of Brian Dickens. 3 laps to go. He's watching the leader slowly fade away. Caution flag flies. Caution flag flies. Joe Massow involved, I'm seeing. Let's see if we can take a look here. The 19. Oh, yeah, I'd say so. Gets into that outside wall. Similar to what Scott Rayome, and then, man, he's minding his own business, staying out of everyone's way. Jeff Barker gets bounced into. You see the 740 or the 247 there, Michael Vecchio. He's going to get into the inside wall. He bounces up Barker. Barker slams the 19, and nowhere to go for the Massow, man. And well, both Massows involved, Jacob and Joe in that one. Tough break. Pace lights are on, not going back green just yet. Lights are off, and we will go back this time. We'll have our first green-white checkered, a little 2-lap shootout here at Oswego. You got to think Sam Bachman, he's got this one in hand here, barring a mistake. Advantage always to the leader here on restarts, especially on dirt as we roll into 3. For what should be the final restart of the evening. The green flag's high. The 007 drops the hammer. Green, white, checkered 2-lap shootout at the Big O. Sam Bachman immediately finding that grip upstairs. Tries to pull away from the 122. Brian Dickens. Good run, though, on the bottom through 1 and 2. This is where we've seen the difference made from Sam Bachman up to a 4/10 lead now. White flag flies. One more trip around. You're looking at the battle here for P2. Can Clay Christopherson swing it on in there? Does he play it conservative? Putt looking like he's going to behave. Checkered flag flies. Sam Bachman is your feature winner here in the Full Throttle Motorsports Venom Racing 358 Modifieds. Brian Dickens, P2, and Putt rounds out the podium. Michael Vitale, Gavin Chatham, your top 5. As Sam Bachman gets it done. Good run for the 007. Able to drive that thing into victory lane. Congratulations to Sam Bachman. Well-earned race, and, well, that is a funky camera. I noticed some of these changed. I don't know why some of them got blurred, but my apologies for that. We'll let the drivers park, and we'll see if we can get a word with the 051 of Clay Christopherson. try and find. There we go. Now, I'm warning everyone here, the first time this camera goes blurry, I will do my best to keep up my speech, but I am going to fix it because I don't want it to look like that for the next race if I happen to pick this camera. I thought I had the problem solved the last time, and look, I didn't. So we're going to see here if we can change this. And we're going to save everyone. See my nice little file name track. We're going to hope that solves the issue here. I had it zoomed in to look at sponsors, and I don't know. I have the motion blur turned down. Can't figure out what I did. It used to work because we've been here before, but who knows? Always mistakes to be made, and I'll find a way to make them. But let's pull up your P3 finisher here, putt. Clay, quite an eventful race there, man. You're semi-involved in the lap 1 incident, but you're able to roll your way on through. And, man, as always, you're up there battling for the podium. Good run tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, the car hooked on the bottom, and a lot of the guys were running the bottom, so it made it pretty tight, close racing for a pass. But, yeah, I had the right front brake on and was running the bottom and was getting a little bit further down than some guys were, and that's usually when I can make my pass, but the car felt really good.
Yeah, we're seeing some guys bounce off that inside wall tonight. Not you. What was so tricky out there for some of the drivers, do you think? Just the way the track was aging, drivers trying to fight for that little strip down there, or can the corners maybe be a little misleading here?
Oh, very misleading. I'm usually lifted off the throttle, maybe 2-3 cars off the flag stand. I mean, I'm rolling it into the corner. I usually don't snap the car too much unless I have to here.
Well, Clay, you know what they say, man. Slow in, fast out. That's what it's all about, especially at a track with long straightaways like Oswego. You made it pay off. You drive up to P3. Great run, man. Up 12 spots. That's not easy to do here at Oswego. So pat yourself on the back, man. Who you want to thank?
You guys for putting this on. All the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block setups.
Well, hey, great run, Clay. Look forward to a lot more of these, my man. And tell Sam to get his butt up into Discord.
All right, thanks.
It's your P3 finisher, Clay Christopherson. And now we're going to bring up the man in the 122. Brian, one win already this season. Oh, so close to another one. But it just seemed like you needed to be up high. And well, that's where Sam was. You kept experimenting to try to get around, but just no luck. You're clearly the second fastest car, though. I mean, you were on rails, even running where it wasn't necessarily the fastest line.
Yeah, I couldn't get away from that middle bottom. I kept feeling some speed, kept pulling up every once in a while, and just couldn't be quite consistent enough with it. I caused some wheel damage when me and Chatham got together. That hurt me a little bit because I felt like I really had the best car before that. but man, yeah, it was a good run. Had fun.
Yeah, back to that, that had kind of slipped my mind. But yeah, Gavin gets into the inside wall in front of you, and what are you thinking when that happens? Because you get in the back of him, and all of a sudden, man, you're in the middle of a bee's nest. You really had to fight yourself off to be able to hold on to that.
Yeah. I was so close to him when it happened. I couldn't stay out of him, and I'm glad both of us didn't wreck. So that was good. But yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, man. One other thing I want to touch on here before I kick you out of here, Brian. I talked about it on the restart, and you had to have impressed yourself a little bit too, if you're being honest. You're sitting in the middle of 3 teammates, and you beat 2 of them to go on up to P2. Tell me, did you smirk a little bit there coming out of 2 when you had that restart? That's one of the best ones of the season.
Yeah, anytime you're up there with the FTM boys with the modifieds and stuff, of course you feel like you're doing something because, they're the guys to beat week in and week out. So yeah, it makes me happy to put Hammer Down Racing and On Edge up front there. So yeah.
Yeah, man, and I'll tell you what, you're adding your name to that list. You already won this season, and you're consistently up here battling with those guys. You're a name to watch, Brian. Hell of a job tonight. Who you want to thank?
Got to thank the Dirt Track Bank always for everything they do for our team and everybody in dirt track racing, really, and in our league as well. Hammer Down Racing, the guys I've always raced with on dirt, Kurt, Joe, and Brandon. My own Edge Racing team that I usually race asphalt with on, but pull some of those guys over here too. We're having fun. Sam on the win, awesome win, pretty dang flawless. Coast to Coast for everything they do. And Shaggy, you on the broadcast, man, you're doing a hell of a job.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, Brian, and it's easy to do, man, when you guys are battling through the field like you do, putting on a hell of a show. Congratulations, and I look forward to a lot more of these, bud.
All right, thanks, man.
That's your second place finisher, Brian Dickens. And now we bring up the man of the hour here, cracking the whip when we bring him in. And I'll tell you what, to quote Brian Dickens there, pretty dang flawless. How'd that run feel, Sam? I mean, you got up front and you just never looked back.
Oh yeah, the car felt pretty good all night. I just kept using that slider line in 1 and 2, and then that top in 3 and 4 felt pretty good. So I just kept running that. But before I started doing that, when I was trying to get by Scotty and all those guys, I was using the top, and it was just, you get such a good run in 3 and 4, but then 1 and 2 you just lose it all, and so it was just pretty hard doing that. But other than that, it felt pretty good.
You stole the words right out of my mouth there, Sam. I was gonna ask, what do you got to keep telling yourself to just keep going up to the top in 1 and 2, knowing it's probably not gonna work, but just, I mean, it's what you got to do if you want to go up there and get around your teammate. You got to be clean, and I mean, dude, you made it work. You were relentless.
Yeah, I knew if I just tried to keep the car as straight as possible and kind of just hope for a little hiccup on the bottom from one of them, that I would have a really good run. So it's pretty much just praying for it.
Well, Sam, you steal the first one here with a dominating run. Can I expect more from you here in the big blocks? Are we feeling confident going into the next one?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, hey, great run, man. Congratulations on the big win. Who you want to thank?
Oh, all the boys over at FTM, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard getting us some dig. Dean over at Super Dark Car Series, Expert Installation, Zach, you for doing the broadcast, and Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, Sam, I appreciate it. And actually, I thought of one more thing to pick your brain here, because you're probably the man to ask. Is there any talk in that FTM Discord? Is anyone going to come out here in a 358, or are we going to come out here in the big blocks?
I think we're all coming out here in big blocks. It's pretty big, so that's what we're probably gonna
I
do.
assumed. I just didn't want to look like an idiot again. I got to double check here. But congratulations, Sam. Good run, man. And I look forward to talking to you again here in a little bit.
Thanks.
That's your winner in the 007, Sam Bachman. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your Big Block Modified Atlantic Management Resources event here next. Stick around.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back live for Extreme E-Speed TV Thursday Night Thunder with part 2 of 3. Your Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modified event at Oswego Speedway. Now, you do have the option, you heard me ask Sam Bachman in his interview. You can run a 358 Modified if you'd like. No way for me to get that information to you. If there is a driver running a 358, but we assume there aren't any here tonight at Oswego, pretty long racetrack. Don't know the exact measurement. You know, I should. I always, when I do asphalt broadcasts, I look up, but you know, they're normally 3/8 mile in dirt, somewhere around there. But I think, you know what? Let's do a little behind the scenes. Of course, I have mine grayed out now. Let's see. Can I put this away? Thought we could get... Oh, yeah, length. 0.63. So it's over a half mile. Over a half mile here at Oswego. 0.63. 6/10 of a mile. I'm rounding down. And I got a chance to look over at the chat. I saw Megan's out there watching. Thanks for chiming in, Andrew Smith. So now we're calling Dan the Northern Nightmare. I will try to remember that, Andrew. What happened to you, Andrew? We used to have you running here. Need you to come back. Dino out there as always. Dean's P8 right now on the timing chart. Not too sure what we're waiting on here. But we should be getting ready to go into tonight's feature, I'd imagine. There's the earliest it's supposed to... There we go. Checkered flag waves and gonna get ready to roll. Hate to be a stickler, but like I say, I got that other one here in an hour, so I don't want to keep them waiting too long if they're a little late. Or if I'm a little late, they're my friends. I think they'll understand. But let's get ready to roll into qualifying here at Oswego for the big block modifieds. Who's going to pull out on the racetrack first? Let's see. Let's see. Jason Butterfield, it's looking like. It was Anthony for a little bit. But Butters drops the hammer. Or I don't know. You see, that's how close they are on the track. It is Jason Butterfield just ahead of Anthony Morano. We'll see if Anthony can beat Jason to the line, though. This will be the tale of laps. I wish I could show them both at the same time. One is a ghost car. Not an option, though, here for your boy. There's lap number 1 about in the books. But there you saw Anthony Morano, purple. He's going to set quick time. Let's watch the 32 go around for lap number 2. He liked the bottom, it looks like here. So we pay attention to that bottom of the screen. I haven't seen Anthony surface. Quicker through sector 2. Not going to improve his lap overall. Doesn't need to. Stays atop the charts. As James Bond, lap number 1. He comes around P2. What can Sam Bachman do? Can he improve his second and final lap? Sam Bachman, no. He's going to have to stick with lap number 1. And right now, your top 3, Anthony Morano, Sam Bachman, Joseph Grandy. Randy Shreves completes his second lap. He comes home P6. Clay Christopherson wrecks here on his lap. Is he going to get a chance to refire this thing? Maybe pull it back out here, try to do a lap, or is he out of time in that 51? And man, oh man, if Putt is, he is out of time. Checkered flag waves. Or it doesn't wave, but it's metaphorically waving when you see the standings turn white. You can see now we're going to go to heat race number 1. Let's take a look at the starting lineup on the on the inside of row number 4. Putt Clay Christopherson. Row number 3 to the high side, the 011 Randall Dixon into his inside, and the 79 Dean Reynolds. Your pole sitter to the outside of row number 2 in the 32, Anthony Morano into his inside, and the 93 Jason Butterfield. Row number 1 for heat race number 1 to the outside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio, and to his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. There's only 20 drivers here in the big block modifieds. Not as big of a field. Won't have a B main. So everyone's going to make the show. That takes a little bit of the pressure off. But at the same time, you still want to start as well in the feature as you can. So the pressure's on here. Heat race number 1. Who's going to start on the pole? The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. We're underway. This battle is on for P2. Jason Butterfield looking to grab the haunches. There's contact between him and Michael Vecchio. Vecchio's going to lose one more to the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Possibly another to the 32 as the Ant-Man looks low. Anthony Morano started fourth, still running there. Off to a rough start for him, considering Dino's gotten around him. And well, Jason's moved up a spot. Anthony, one of those drivers you think would capitalize on someone else's mistake. Not able to, but he shows the tail tank to the 247. Michael Vecchio's got to put his head down. When he looks to the left, the 51 of Putt to the inside. Clay Christopherson, third place finisher in the small block modifieds. Pardon my stutter. You know he's going to have speed, but unfavorable starting spot as the Ant-Man looks to the inside of Dino. Dean Reynolds trying to put up a fight. He doesn't want to fall. Another spot here to the 51 of Clay Christopherson. He knows what this means. He's got to fight hard. Jason Butterfield closing the gap to Greg Parmalee as the battle's going to heat up for the lead. Possibly a three-way here. If Anthony Morano has something to say about it, the Ant-Man dives low in 1 and 2, almost gets into the inside wall. Dean Reynolds, he sees the tail tank of the 32, and now he looks down to the inside and he sees Putt as well. He's got to get it together. He's going to lose another one. Close contact or call between the teammates, excuse me. Anthony Morano drives off into 1 and 2. He makes it stick. Man, Butters and the 4 of Greg Parmalee get loose in 1 and 2. Parmalee gets into the back of the 32. Costs himself what could have been Greg Parmalee. Oh man, white flag flies. And, well, Greg, I know it's tough, but nobody to blame but the man in the mirror. You cracked the throttle, you probably finished P2 as Anthony Morano makes an amazing move, and he wins heat race number 1. Jason Butterfield, P2. Clay Christopherson, 3rd. Dean Reynolds, P4. Michael Vecchio, Randall Dixon, and Greg Parmalee round out the field. As we get ready for heat race number 2, we'll try and take a look at this starting grid. Inside of row number 4, the 118 of Logan Wentz. Row number 3, to the high side, the 94 of Gary Offit, and to his inside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. Your 358 modified feature winner lines up on the outside of row number 2, and to his inside, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Row number 1 for heat race number 2, to the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker, and your pole sitter in the 213, Michael Vitale. As we get ready here for heat race number 2, the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off, and the boys get ready to play here at Oswego Speedway. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay. Heat race number 2 underway. Brian Moore Sr. tries to take a peek, gets into that inside wall. He may lose a spot here to the 94 of Gary Offit, who's looking to the outside, but here comes your 358 modified feature winner, Sam Bachman, finding the grip upstairs. Man, oh man, he loves the attic. James Bond creeps around upstairs where all the moisture is. And look at him drive himself around the Brewerton Beast. 4th to 2nd, 2 laps. Made it look easy to the 007. Brian Moore Sr. running around by himself here in P4. Looking up ahead to the 213 of Michael Vitale, trying to go to work on the Brewerton Beast. Michael Vitale started on the pole, but had a rough start. Now looking to get it back together here. Trying to look to the inside of the 513, but throughout the field, pretty much strung out single file all the way back to P7. Logan Wentz. Let's take a look here. Sam Bachman just ran your fastest lap of the race, a 19:13. The 007 only getting quicker here as the race ages on. And, well, Jeff Barker moved upstairs in 3 and 4. He just ran a 19:15. He figured something out that last lap. Just doesn't have the speed through 1 and 2 that the 007 has. But maybe a little more through 3 and 4. Well, brought the jinx out. Sam Bachman hit the nitrous, turned it back on, and last time around, a 19:12. Fastest lap of the race for the 007. Bob DeGood looking up behind. He's starting to see the 118 creep up. Logan Wentz to the top shelf as they see the white flag fly. One more trip around. Bob DeGood runs him up close to the wall, but Logan Wentz, no fear, drives right around the outside. Final time through 3 and 4. Your leader, Sam Bachman, wins heat race number 2, followed by Jeff Barker, Michael Vitale, Brian Moore Sr., Logan Wentz, Bob DeGood, and Gary Offit. As we get ready for our 3rd and final heat race for the big block modifieds, let's take a look at your starting lineup. To the outside in the 21, Blackjack John DeBias, and is inside of row number 3, the 2 of Harold Klump. Row number 2, the 518 of Joseph Grandy lines up on the high side, into his inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row number 1 to the high side, the 17 of Mark Gilbert, and to his inside, the 444 of Scott Rayome. So I'm going to reset this overlay here real quick. See what needs a refresh. And Shaggy's going to mute himself here really quick. I'm going to run over, turn the thermostat down, getting a little warm in here. And, no, you know what? I can deal with it. I'll do it at warm-ups. I'm an idiot. That's right after this. Why would I do that now? As the 444 Scott Rayome set to lead the field to the green flag. I see my wife do it for me. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 3 underway. Mark Gilbert with a good jump there on the high side. Joseph Grandy looking to make it 3 wide. But he couldn't make it 3 wide because Mark Gilbert came storming out. Oh, Joseph Grandy! Couldn't tell if he had some help there. Let's take a look. We'll go up here to the Chapman Racing drone camera. Scott Rayome slides up just a little bit. And, well, if you're Joe, you know it's coming. I know it's not fun, and he's not going to be happy about it. But, man, slide jobs really have become a part of racing, and you just got to return the favor when a guy throws a slider on you. You know, you got to back out of that throttle, let him have it, and then the next turn, park it right back on his nose. Treat others the way you want to be treated, and sometimes you get a little bit too aggressive. You try to stay in that throttle, and it ends up costing you. But right now, Mark Gilbert leads the way as Scott Rayome tries to reel in the 17. Halfway home, can the 444 find a way to get by the 17? Or is Mark Gilbert going to prove to be too tough? The 17 Not always in every race, but man, when he's here, always quick, runs towards the front. And well, Randy Shree's not going to be happy about this. He runs in the back after contact and whatnot. Just ran the fastest lap of heat race number 3, and here he is in P5. Showing he's got a lot of motor. Just tough to pass right now here at Oswego. 2 laps to go. The 17 of Mark Gilbert. John Tobias looks to his inside. Randy Shreves. This is a battle for 3 spots. Every spot you pass in the heat is 3 starting spots in the feature. Randy knows that. And with the white flag flying, he's going to duck back in line. He's got a little bit of time to go back to work. But final time through 3 and 4, the 17 of Mark Gilbert sees the checkered flag wave. And he's going to win heat race number 3, followed by Scott Rayom, Harold Klump, John Tobias, Randy Shreves, and Joseph Grandy. We're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with your Big Block Modified feature. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. About time for your Big Block Modified Atlantic Management Resources feature event. And let's take a look at these times. Anthony Morano, 10th, quicker than the rest of the field. Anthony would love to have a good run there after his difficult stint in the 358 Modifieds. Gonna start on the pole here for tonight's feature. Needs to stay out of trouble. He knows that. He doesn't need Shaggy to tell him that. Let's take a look here at the starting lineup for your Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modified feature. Starting on the outside of row number 10 in the 94, Gary Offit, into his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 9, the 518 of Joseph Grandy, and is inside the 7 of Bob DeGood. Row number 8, to the high side, the 011 of Randall Dixon, into his inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. To the outside of row number 7, the 118 of Logan Wentz, into his inside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio. Row number 6, to the high side, Blackjack, John DeBias, in the 21, into his inside, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Row 5, on the outside, the 79 of Dino Dean Reynolds, and to his inside, the deuce of Harold Klump. Row number 4, to the high side, the 213 of Michael Vitale, and to his inside, the 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row 3, on the outside, the 444 of Scott Rayome, and to his inside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Row 2 for your big block modified feature, to the high side, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield, and to his inside, the 17 of Mark Gilbert. A Full Throttle Motorsports row number 1 for your big block modified feature here at Oswego. On the outside, your small block winner in the 007, James Bond, Sam Bachman. And starting on the pole, the Magic Ant-Man in the 32, Anthony Morano. Has 30 laps to decide who's going to take home the checkered flag. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 30 laps to play. We're underway at Oswego Speedway. We're going to go up top here. Watch him fan out all around. Right now, clearly Anthony out front. Sam with a big run into 3. They're bouncing around, though, on the right side of your screen. Man, oh man, 3 almost 4 wide there for a second. But Randy Shreves and the boys thought best of it. Putt Putt just had to back out as well. He was looking under the 513 of Jeff Barker. Clay loving to go low and slow. Missed his mark there a little bit into 3, but the caution flag waves. For the first time here in the big block modifieds is Gary Offit and John DeBias make a little contact. Let's see if we can jump up to the Chapman Racing drone camera here. Oh, John, little contact there with Randy Shreves. He goes around. Randall Dixon then involved. Gary Offit involved. Boy, oh boy. Big stack up there. No, Randall Dixon, he had vanished. He had to tow there. 2 cars on pit lane. Remember, it was a rough start there in the opener. And then we got a long green flag run, so let's see what happens. Plenty of time to figure out who's going to win this one. Oh, nice. We got somebody from Brazil watching. Thanks, Luis, I guess is how I would pronounce it. We got Jack Howell rooting for Scott Rayome. As we get ready. No, we're not going to get ready. They teased us. They extended it again here. We had went double file. But the light's back on. Going to go around one more time here. May cut off here. Let's pay attention. Yep, they're not blinking anymore under the flag stand. So we should be set to go back racing here this time. Lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car. And we're going to get ready to go play in the clay here. already had some early contact. Can those drivers make their way on back to the front? I say yes, they can. Plenty of time here. Difficult racetrack, though. You got to make the track work to you as the Ant-Man gets ready to drop the hammer. Advantage 32. When does he go? The green flag is high. He goes now. Good jump for the Ant-Man. Slots right up in front of his teammate. Sam Bachman dives back downstairs, though, so maybe he appreciates what his teammate did. There's contact. Scott Rayone bounces off the wall. Goes back up again in front of Dino. Dino bounces off the Brewerton Beast. Dino looks back down under Scott. Dino making moves and hitting grooves out here in the 79. Anthony, I told you, he gets out front. He's going to be a tough guy to run down. And, well, that's what we're seeing, man. That 32 smooth as silk. Sam trying to run him back down. If anybody can, I'm telling you, it's that 007. Just depends. Some nights it's Anthony's night. Some nights it's Sam's night. They both say the same thing. They throw their punches back and forth and race very clean. But Mark Gilbert, outside wall, able to keep it straight, loses 2 spots, and you gotta wonder, what does that right front look like? Well, let's take a look here. Seems okay. It doesn't look like it's angled out. And obviously he's turned to the right there to go straight. This is dirt racing, caution flag flies, but yeah, there we get a better view. Not angled too bad, and I would assume Mark Gilbert, he's just going to be beating himself up after that one, but it's not going to cost him anything other than 3rd and 4th for now. Let's take a look here what happened. So Michael Vecchio, he's running around. I imagine the contact happens in front of him. Yeah, DeBias goes up over someone's right rear. Let's see here. Let's go to the Chapman Racing drone camera. He just gets into that right rear, goes up. I imagine we're going to see him bounce off the wall. He does, comes back down. Nowhere for Vecchio to go. And just like that, 2 more cars going to have to tow and head down pit lane. As Anthony Morano just wants to get a long green flag run here. Wants to be able to bring home the checkered flag. Doesn't need any more dilly-dallying. And really, when you get into a rhythm, last thing you want to do is break it with a caution. Just stay smooth when you're out front. Keep hitting your marks. And just keep clicking those times off in the stopwatch. And the 32 is pretty darn good at doing just that. Lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car as we get ready to go back green. Remember, after this, your pro late models are up next. Travis Pierce here will be on the call for that, so make sure you stick around. Extreme E-Speed TV does a wonderful job, and they're a very important or integral part here of the Coast to Coast Racing Network. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. The 32 set to drop the hammer anytime now. He goes. Good run. Full Throttle Motorsports top 3 for a slight second. Well, no, he's still there. He's able to get around Sam Bachman. That's what caught me by surprise. Clay Christopherson takes advantage of that inside starting spot. Great jump. Goes on by the 007 and can putt find a way to get up here and play with the 32. I'm going to jump on the nose here of Clay Christopherson. I'm a little disappointed with that there. Oh, I guess I've only changed the small block, so we're not going to get my normal cameras. No, not going to go on the nose. That's not a realistic camera. Guess I haven't done one for these big blocks. My apologies, but Brian Moore Sr. and Mark Gilbert battling hard here for the top 5. Brian Moore on the outside looking in. But Mr. Wednesday Night No stranger to top fives. Love to get another one, but gets into the inside wall. Slides up. Scott Rayum's got to check up. Randy Shreves takes advantage, and he looks to the inside. Scott had to play nice there. If he gets into Brian too hard, he could ruin both their races. Oh, he gives him a little love tap, though, this time. And man, Brian may not like that one, but sometimes that's how you got to play at these one-lane racetracks. The 444 ready to go and had to make his move as we see Anthony Morano extends the lead out front. Jason Butterfield trying to work on that final podium spot here. Having a good run in the 93. Started fourth, still running there. Would love to get one more as we see Mark Gilbert disappear into the abyss. Hits that hole in 3 and 4, and he vanishes to outer space. That's going to write off the 17 of Mark Gilbert. And that's going to move fan favorite Dean Reynolds up here into the top 5. Can the 79 get a caution and move his way a little bit further to the front? Gonna need some help, though. There's a big, big gap to his 3 teammates in front of him. They've really been able to pull away. Geez, speaking of pull away, 2 laps ago, Anthony Morano ran the fastest lap of the race, a 19.47. Oh, you don't believe me? I can show you. Let's go to Clay here so we get the top 3. You see that purple? 4.72, fastest lap of the race. The Ant-Man's got something figured out. He's ready to play here. And I'm not sure if any of the other boys, you know, they might just want to take their ball and go home before Anthony just takes it and claims it, because he is quick. As Anthony Morano comes around over halfway, 13 laps to go for the 32 this time by. Smooth down there on the bottom, and Putt-Putt, you know he's going to be a little jealous. That's normally his thing. He loves rolling that bottom just as much as anyone. But Anthony really taking him to school here early on. Can Clay find a way to really push that envelope? Really suck down to that inside wall, maybe find a little something that Anthony, quite frankly, doesn't have to go for with his 1 second lead. Clay's got to be the man who's out there working. Anthony's just got to stay smooth. Dean Reynolds still holding on to 4th. Randy Shreves, your hard charger, up there into 5th. Started 15th. Scott Rayum started 6th, still running 6th. Jeff Barker, P7, started 5th, down 2 spots. Randall Dixon, 16th, up to 8th. That's a good run for the 011. Right behind him, Brian Moore Sr., up 2 spots as well. And then rounding out the top 10, the 2 of Harold Klump. As you see the drivers right now strung out single file all around. Let's find Dino. He's in P4. Now let's go to your leader. Almost a full straightaway behind is... Oh, car gets in trouble in front of your leader. I believe that's DeBias. Able to stay up out of the way. Going to do it again here for the 051. If you're Anthony, you probably lost a little bit of time there trying to play it cautious. I can't blame him. The lead's down to 0.7 of a second. Is that the breath that Clay Christopherson needed? Did he find a little something? Anthony Morano. Can he hold on down to 0.6 here as we enter turns 3? Let's bring up the laps here for the top 3. Clay Christopherson made up 0.5 second 2 laps ago. 1.5 tenths the last lap. You saw, I mean, I could see it. Anthony really babied it behind that lap car, and it breathed some life into this 051. And let's take a look again. Clay, I mean, 8 tenths of a second. Do the math here. These last 3 laps, Clay is ready to play here. He's only going to have 4 more laps to do it this time by. Anthony putting his head back down, trying to run smooth here. Knows he isn't going to get moved out of the way, I wouldn't think. But now you start hearing the 51 behind you. You're talking to yourself out there. You're doing things that you haven't been doing all race, and that's what gets you into trouble as Clay creeps ever so close. But this lead is kind of stalled out around the 3/4 tenth mark. Clay overdrives the entry. We see it extend. And with only 2 more laps to go, you gotta think Anthony Morano got enough to hold on this thing if he can just stay out of trouble. White flag flies. Final time around for the Ant-Man. Can Anthony Morano hold on? Can he hold off his Full Throttle Motorsports teammate in the 051? Final time through 3 and 4. Checkered flag waves. And a Full Throttle Motorsports podium brought to you by the 32 of Anthony Morano, your big block modified feature winner. Clay Christopherson P2 and Sam Bachman P3. Dean Reynolds 4th. Jeff Barker rounds out the top 5. An FTM podium. And Dean Reynolds just missing out, but giving FTM the top 4. You know he's going to be happy for those teammates of his. Possibly a little jealous, but what a great run here tonight for Full Throttle Motorsports. Domination yet again here. 2 for 2 in the features. And, well, Sam Bachman, 2 podiums so far tonight. So give these guys a minute or 2 here to catch their breath. Putt-putt 2 podiums as well. Good run for Clay Christopherson. As we see if we can get a word here with the 007. As Sam Bachman makes his way on up here, cracking the whip again. Full Throttle Motorsports podium, man. I know it's not the top step, but it's still got to feel good. The race car looked good tonight.
Oh yeah, it felt pretty good. I just couldn't really run that bottom like Anthony and Clay could. They're pretty good masters at it here, so. But I tried searching around a little bit, but I couldn't find anything, so I just decided to start ripping the top, and hopefully it came in.
Now, did you expect that? I know I was a little caught off guard, to be honest with you. I knew the bottom would maybe work, but not as well as it did. I thought we'd see that high side really roll in, especially with the power the big block has. Were you a little surprised by that?
Yeah, it kind of was. It just didn't have the grip up there. I even tried going in a little easier on it, and it just didn't seem like it wanted to go as fast as it did on the bottom. But yeah, it was a little disappointing that the top wasn't there.
Well, Sam, 2 for 2 here in the modifieds. You win the first one, P3 in the second one, man. Gotta feel good. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard to get us some dig. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation. Shaggy, you for doing the broadcast and Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, great run, man, and I look forward to a lot more of these season. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank you.
The 007 brings home another podium, and now we're going to talk to his teammate here in the 051, Clay Christopherson. Clay, there was a little bit there that he was pulling away from you, but with about 7 to go, Anthony has to lift for what he thought was going to be trouble. A lap car on the outside, and man, you sucked him up. 5/10 that lap, 2/10 the next, and 3 the following. What was going through your head, man? Did you think you were going to get to go up there and taste that rear end a little bit?
I think I was gonna get next to him a little bit. I think if we had maybe 2 or 3 more laps, it would have been a pretty fun race at the end there. But no, the car just started hooking on the way I was entering into 3, and I'd get just a heck of a drive. And then 1 and 2, we were about even. But yeah, when I started doing that corner 3, I was getting a lot better exit, and I was catching him. I should have done that 10 laps ago.
Yeah, so did that just happen to coincide with the lap car, or did maybe, you creeping in on him half a second, did that breathe some confidence back into you?
Oh yeah, I started hammering down. I was probably with about 15 to go. I started giving her a little bit more, and then when that mishap happened, I got on it and realized my car was still hooking up really good. So I hammered back down and was able to catch up to him, but not enough laps.
Well, hey, heck of a job, man. 2 podiums tonight and an FTM sweep here in the Big Block Modified. So congratulations, Clay. Good run, man. Who you want to thank?
You guys for putting this on, all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and Big Block setups.
Well, hey, great run, man, and not too sure if you're going to be running the Pro Lates, but if you do, good luck, my brother.
Thank you, sir. I'm not sure yet.
All right, well, you heard the man. Not too sure yet. He may get out there and throw her down. If he does, he's definitely going to be a contender. But let's talk to his teammate, the man who brought home.
They don't call me the pit lizard pit for nothing, baby. Go get the shirt.
Yeah, I don't remember how to turn that off. Don't worry about that.
You're all right. And, dude, congratulations, man. You had a big lead there. And, well, I picked on you a little bit there to your teammate. You take it easy. I don't blame you, especially after what happened to Blake the other night with lap traffic. But you take it easy, and you give up half a second there with like 7 laps to go, and you breathe some life into Clay. Were you looking up in that rearview mirror at all? Were you getting nervous?
Nah, I don't bother with the mirror. I just watch my relatives and try to, if you're looking up, you're slowing down. So I was just trying to hit my marks. And of course, that last lap, I looked at my relative and he was like 0.3 behind, and I go into turn 3 and I missed my corner going in. I was sliding through the ice there. I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. And then I hear him going, hey, Morano, hey, Morano. I'm like, oh, great, he's got me. So I think he backed out a little bit and let me come back down the track, thankfully. But it was fun. I was trying to run away, and after the 358 race there, I could definitely use that.
Yeah, I think, well, if you go back and diagnose it, he messed up a little bit with 2 to go coming out of 4, I believe. And I think if he doesn't do that, when you're talking about overdriving that exit, he might be there to flirt with you. But Anthony, man, you were the dominant car there in the early stages, and you just proved to be too much once again. I know the small blocks didn't go your way. It seemed like you had a bullseye painted on every part of that car out there, but you're able to go out here, win in the big blocks. Congratulations, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Shaggy. I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys at FTM. Pretty cool here. Got get to sweep the podium. I think Dean got 4th, if I remember seeing it correctly. So definitely take that for the team. Dean at Super Car, Logan at Heimam Lens, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, MDI TV, GripHack.com, Bowman Designs, AMR for the big blocks, right? I think that's right. AMR.
Yep.
Shaggy for doing a broadcast. So everyone here at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, great job, man. Congratulations. And we both know I'm going to be talking to you plenty more times this season. Good job tonight, man.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, man. Anthony Morano takes home the AMR Big Block Modified feature event here at Oswego. And, well, coming up next, my man Travis Piercefield here is going to be taking over, and we're going to be running some pro late models. So, Travis, what are we looking at, man? Where are we going tonight?
We are at Oswego, so we're going to stay right where you've been all night long and see what we can do here. Right now, we got a half a dozen guys Still some guys switching over from the big blocks, so should be exciting racing here with the Pro Late Models tonight. A little bit bigger track this week, so we'll see who has the horsepower to come away with a victory.
Well, we're going to kick this thing over here to Travis. We're going to mute us and throw up a quick video. We're going to give him all the power. And thanks for tuning in here, watching me on Thursday Night Thunder. And stick around here for the Pro Late Models at Oswego. Don't go anywhere.
I should take over. And then I don't know if you saw, I just put it in the chat. I can't do next Thursday.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network, as we are here at Oswego Speedway here tonight, continuing our racing here on Thursday Night Thunder. We have qualifying out here for the Pro Late Model Division. Cars out on the track here. We'll bring up those times over there to the left as they come in. Of course, Extreme E-Speed TV Thursday Night Thunder. You got the Dirt Track Bang Friday Night Lights Pro Late Model Division Series here now. Randy Shreves shoots to the top of the charts. Scott Rayome, second fastest. Andy Piercefield, fourth fastest, as Anthony Morano will jump up to fast time. Gary Offit, now fourth fastest, as he's rounding out his time. Butch Baker from Michigan out there in that 97 machine as well. Looks like we've got 10 cars here. Patrick Spangler not on the track yet. He's car number 10 at this point. As Mason Haney, last car out there making his laps, currently 9th fastest in that 89 machine. And just like that, it's going to be Anthony Morano. He's going to be our quick time here tonight. As qualifying will wrap up, we'll move on to those heat races now. And heat race number 1 is going to line up like this. It's Greg Parmalee on the pole alongside Andy Piercefield, Randy Shreves 3rd, Anthony Morano 4th, Mason Haney in the 5th position. As those cars will line up down there on the front stretch. So 2x2 we get lined up ready to go here at Oswego as we are back to racing action. Green flag waves. Greg Parmalee sends it off into turn number 1. The leader with Randy Shreves moving into the 2nd position. Randy Shreve sits in second as Anthony Morano up to third. As we will reset our scoring pylon here. Don't know why it's stuck right now. As we've got 5 laps to go there. Anthony Morano has moved up into that second spot. Shreve's third, Haney fourth, Piercefield in fifth. Morano looking fast out there right now. So Anthony Morano really spread out single file around this track here at Oswego. 3 laps to go for Anthony Morano. This, of course, will set that inside line for tonight's 30-lap feature event. Right down to that inside wall, it's Anthony Morano. White flag will wave this time by. Greg Parmalee in second. Randy Shreve's third. Mason Haney in fourth. Andy Piercefield off the track after 1 lap. As the final lap, the 32, he's seen a bunch of checkered flags already this winter season. It's Anthony Morano, heat race #1 winner. Greg Parmalee second. Randy Shreve's third. Mason Haney fourth. Andy Piercefield in fifth. Just like that, we'll move on to heat race #2. It's going to be John Tobias alongside Butch Baker, all Michigan front row. Gary Offit third, Scott Rayome fourth, and Patrick Spangler fifth. Here are the late models tonight between Andy Piercefield, John Tobias, and Butch Baker. That's 3 Michigan drivers here tonight. Not often that Michigan leads the number of drivers in our division for the night. Two by two, we get ready to go. Green flag waves, off we go. Butch Baker jumps out front. Great battle here for 3 cars behind him. That's the battle for second. As Scott Rayome's going to come out in front of that one. His battle with John Tobias and Gary Offit. As quickly we're down halfway here, it's Butch Baker out front. There we go. That's a better view. Butch Baker will lead as he heads off there. Scott Rayome now holding off. Now John Tobias and Gary Offit continue to do battle. Patrick Spangler listed there, did not unload, so don't expect to see him here with the Pro Late Model tonight. As things get sorted out, Butch Baker continues to lead. Rayome makes up some space here. We might have a battle this final lap now. As Baker holding on to the lead, this will set the lineup for that outside row 30-lap feature event coming up next. Baker trying to hold off Scott Rayome. It's got 2 more corners to do it. Rail will slide up. Oh, he's up into the wall. That'll give the win to Baker. Tobias will get shaky out of turn number 4. Gary Offit will take over the 3rd spot. So Butch Baker will win heat race number 2. And with that, we will take a quick break. We will come back 30 laps here at Oswego for the Pro Late Models here on Extreme E-Speed TV, Thursday Night Thunder. Welcome back to Oswego Speedway as we get ready for racing action here. 30 lap feature event coming up next here on Extreme E-Speed TV Thursday Night Thunder. And with that, cars are lining up out on the track. They're going to line up like this. Nathan Morano, position number 1 next to Scott Rayome, our 2 heat winners. Greg Permley in 3rd alongside Gary Offit. Randy Shreves in 5th alongside John Tobias. Mason Haney in 7th next to Butch Baker. And starting 9th is the 175 of Andy Piercefield. So here we go. 2x2 lights are off the pace truck as we get ready to go. Looks like we'll do one more lap. As always, thank you for tuning in here for the Dirt Track Bank Friday Night Lights Pro Late Model Division. So Scott Rayome getting ready to go. Lead us to green. Anthony Morano out front as well. Green flag will wave. 2x2 they head down into turn number 1. 30 laps here will make up this feature event. Anthony Morano will jump out front here early in this one. Gaggle of cars behind him, starting with Scott Rayome. In that second position is Parmalee, looks to the inside, off it up against the wall there in 3 and 4. Randy Shreves making moves down that inside line. Oh, Parmalee will go up the track into the wall. Caution flag will come out. We'll take a look and see what happened to Greg there. Of course, he's there in that bright orange number 4. Oh, and he clips that inside wall, broke that left front tire. Shot him up into that wall there. So, caution flag will come out. First one of the night here for the Pro Late Models. So we'll get them lined back up, ready to go here. So Anthony Morano, Scott Rayome out front still. Getting ready to go back to green here. So they're lined up, single file, as they come out of turns number 3 and 4. Green flag waves. Anthony Morano takes us back off into turn number 1. Great racing action back in the pack. I saw John Tobias back there. What is the closest racing battle here right now out on the track? Mason Haney, a part of that with Butch Baker. John Tobias in that 3, of course. Scott Rayome trying to hold off Randy Shreves as Anthony Morano jumps out to a 2.5 second lead here very quickly. We're 24 laps to go, 6 laps into this one, as that closest battle on the track continues to be John Tobias, Butch Baker, Mason Haney. Andy Piersfield back there in 8th watching on. As Butch Baker, a good run there. It gets cut off by that 3 of Tobias. Out front, it's still Anthony Morano, Scott Rayome, Randy Shreves. This 3-car battle continues to rage on. As Butch Baker now will take over that 5th spot. He's up 3. He's our hard charger here right now. Up 3 spots. Randy Shreves up in 3rd is up 2. As we're almost 10 laps into this one. As it's still Anthony Morano in the 32 out front. Caution flag comes out. We'll take a look. It looks like it's Greg Parmalee again. We'll take a look and see what happened to Greg in that 4 orange machine. Just gets out of sorts there on the exit of turn number 2. Looks like he got into that outside wall and brought out the caution. So with that, we've got 18 laps to go. Oh, Andy Piersfield involved as well. Wonder what happened there. Let's take a look. This was... There it is. Andy hard into that wall, hard into that inside wall. All right, so some carnage, multiple spots here. That Greg Parmalee crash was actually a couple laps ago. Andy Piersfield's was the reason for the caution there, as he's in the work area getting his machine fixed. So Anthony Morano here's led this one so far. We'll see what he can do. Is Scott Rayome going to use this restart to close that gap? It was almost 3 seconds. Green flag waves, back to racing action. Anthony Morano will stay out front here in this one. The battle rages on with Scott Rayome. Randy Shreves trying to move on up. And then you've got that battle back there between Butch Baker and Mason Haney that was heating up. That will continue as now Haney falls back to Andy Piersfield, who's in 7th. John Tobias fallen off the pace. Don't know if something happened with him on the track or if he was just late getting out of that work area when we went back to green. But cross sticks this time, 15 laps to go. So Anthony Morano will lead here. It's up over a second now. Scott Rayome in second. Randy Shreves third. Gary Offit, a good run for him. Just settled into that fourth spot. But he's got the hard charging Butch Baker behind him, who's going to make a move to the outside. Baker to the outside in that 97 machine. Making a move on Gary Offit. Mason Haney watching on, and now Butch Baker will move up into fourth. He's up 4 spots from 8th since the start of this feature event. So a great battle there. Now the closest battle is this Mason Haney 89 car trying to chase down Gary Offit. Now move into the top 5. It's still Anthony Morano out front. He's got a second lead over Scott Rayome. Randy Shreves third, Butch Baker fourth, Gary Offit fifth, Mason Haney sixth, Andy Piercefield seventh, John Tobias in the 8th position. As we look up front, so space throughout the field here. As Gary Offit continues to try to hold off Mason Haney. Out front, Anthony Morano cruising. Now up by almost 2 seconds. Over Scott Rayome. Randy Shreves trying to chase down Scott up ahead. This is currently the closest battle on the track, along with Mason Haney trying to chase down Gary Offit. There's that battle, which now as John Tobias there in the 3, got confused there for a minute. He is a lap down. All of a sudden there was another car in the battle there as they'll move to the inside. Mason Haney will move by. They're clear. Now the closest battle is half a second as Randy Shreves is trying to get back to that bumper of Scott Rayome in second. Anthony Morano up ahead, looking to pick up another victory here in the Pro Late Model division. Coming into tonight, he was our points leader. As 3 laps to go, now 2 laps to go. It was Anthony Morano, the points leader, 2 wins already on the season. This would be his 3rd here tonight. Trevor Giroux in 2nd, Clay Christopherson in 3rd, Randy Shreves and Jeffrey Barker in 5th. So Randy Shreves is going to be able to pick up some spots tonight as the final lap. White flag will wave for Anthony Morano up front. 30 laps up, 30 laps down for Anthony Morano. He will lead from start to finish. Winner for the 3rd time this winter season in the Pro Late Models. It's Anthony Morano, your winner at Oswego. Scott Rayome 2nd. Randy Shreves in 3rd. Butch Baker 4th. Butch Baker will be our hard charger, up 4 spots. Gary Offit 5th. Mason Haney 6th. Andy Piercefield in 7th. So we, of course, will talk to our top 3 finishers here in a moment. They get parked there on the front stretch. And there's your final result. As we'll bring up our third place finisher. It's Randy Shreves. Randy, great run there, up 2 spots after starting in 5th. You got there to the back of Scott, just could not make a move on him there to get that 2nd position.
Yeah, the track was just pretty predictable. Scott knew where to be. He didn't mess up. That's all that I needed was for him to mess up, and he did an awesome job of not doing that.
Yeah, walk us through that. We had a couple restarts there. It would bunch you up and at least get you to the bumper, the guy up in front of you. But it seemed like once you got up to the bumper, there was really no opportunity unless they did make a mistake. Was that really your only opportunity to try to make a move on him up ahead?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not really great in these things, and I'm pretty sure that I was probably overdriving the car and just anxious to try to get up front. But that always doesn't work. I probably should have been a little more patient, but I'm happy to pull off a podium anytime at the late model.
Well, great run nonetheless. Come home with a podium. Who are those people and those sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
I definitely want to thank Coast to Coast for putting on this league, the Dirt Track Bank, you for the broadcast, KSB Builders, my son Dylan Shreves for painting my car, and I want to thank everybody for watching.
Well, congratulations, Randy. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks, Travis.
That's Randy Shreves, our 3rd place finisher tonight. Coming home in the 2nd spot is Scott Rayom. Scott, you had some chances there on those restarts to go after Anthony, but it felt like you were on the defensive more than you were able to go on the attack.
I'll be honest with you, Travis. That's probably only the 4th or 5th time I've ran a late model. I was a fish out of water out there, so Tony was trying to coach me along. I tried the bottom that one time, and the car got insanely tight, so I was like, I'm just going to throw it up here on the top where it feels comfortable, and whatever happens, happens. Talked to Randy a few times in the game. I'm like, dude, just slide me. I'm not going to challenge you. Just go by me. But the restart, yellow came out, so, he was definitely probably faster than me. I don't know what I'm doing in these things other than just playing with the throttle and trying to get more laps here at Oswego. And I'll take a second. Finishing probably 6 seconds behind. I don't even know. 6 seconds behind Tony. He's amazing.
It was just under 4. So closer than 6, Scott. Don't sell yourself short there. Well, with now knowing the backstory behind this, a great run to a 2nd place finish. Obviously you had some restarts in there where it would close the gap up, but like you said, was the what the track was giving you tonight, did it allow you to kind of just go on that ride around mode and hold on to the position and the track kind of play into your hand of what you were able to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I was not comfortable down on the bottom at all, even in warm-ups, or I think I set my fastest time in practice down on the bottom, but there was a lot more tack down there. I'm just learning these things, so I was, I'll just go wherever the car lets me go, kind of, and hang on and play with the throttle till it comes off the corner straight. And whatever happens, happens. I'll take a second by any means, but if there's some of the normal, regular late model guys out there, I'd be probably right at the tail end. So I'm very humble in this. So congrats to Anthony. Obviously, he's a cream of the crop in everything he touches, and congratulations to Randy for running 3rd there behind me. And he mentioned he's not usually running these things either. So it was a good learning experience. We'll see what happens. Maybe on a more technical track, it would be a whole different story, but I'll take a second.
You know what, Scott, I'm going to say, don't sell yourself short. When you look back at the results, this one's going to have a P2 next to it for you.
Yeah, with an asterisk, I guess.
Well, it was a great run. You come away with a podium. You come away with officially a 2nd place finish. Any sponsors or anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Obviously, all the guys over at Full Throttle Motorsports. Those guys they're so diverse in everything they run. I'm one of the original members over there, and bringing on all these guys has helped guys like me and Dean and all the other guys so tremendously, bringing on like Clay and Anthony and Sam, and we got DJ Dylan Dewart over there, that he's just the man behind the scenes that is so phenomenally talented, that on everything he does. He made this rap in like 10 minutes for me a couple weeks ago, and I got to thank him. Dean over at Super Dirt Car, obviously he's very instrumental in everything we do. Gunnar Swan Chair over at Swan Speed Shop for all of your modified sets. I think Dirt Track Bank sponsors this, maybe. Give a shout out to them. You, obviously, for doing the broadcast Coast to Coast for everything they do. And yeah, I think that's it, man. I don't know. I don't get up here very often, so we'll go with that.
Well, great run, Scott. It was nice talking to you, and hopefully we get to talk to you again soon.
Oh, we'll see.
Well, second place finisher tonight, it's Scott Rayome there in the 444. And now talking to our winner, it's Anthony Marano. So
I don't remember how to turn that damn thing off.
No worries. So 30 laps up, 30 laps down. You lead them all here, Anthony. It seemed like a difficult track to try to move around on, so being out front was probably the best place to be. But walk us through your race here to victory from Oswego.
I stayed down low and ran it like it's a big block. I mean, it's probably why I do as good as I do with these things. I just feel like I can drive it like it's a big block and roll the car through the bottom and just let it do its thing there. And that's all I can really think about when I'm doing it. It's just running like an open wheel car.
Well, you had those couple cautions in there, obviously erased the gap that you had on those restarts, and once that that time goes from a couple seconds to nothing, what's kind of your strategy? What's going through your mind to make sure that you can protect that lead?
Just make sure to get my car back down to the bottom. Try not to let Scotty get up underneath me or anything like that on the start, because that would probably screw me up pretty bad. But just don't spin the tires on a restart. Be smart about how you're doing it, and make it roll that way.
Well, and then also looking here at the Winter Season Pro Late Models, you've already you were the points leader coming in. Now you've already picked up another victory here to start it. How do you feel about the season so far, and how you're representing here in the Pro Late Model division?
I mean, we can't go wrong. I mean, everything I do feels really, really good out there. I'm just still learning these things. I'm actually joining a few other leagues and just trying to learn them a bit more, see what I can figure out. And that's pretty much all I can really do. I mean, it's just it's a little learning curve between the two cars, but I think I'm getting there. So plug away, see what we can do for points at the end of the season.
Well, great run again tonight. Who are those folks and those sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
I gotta thank my wife Sherry. The boys are there at FTM. Dean Super Car, Logan at Heimon Lens, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, Bowman Designs, MDI TV, GripHack.com, Dirt Track Bank for coming out and sponsoring the division for us, so we can have you come out and broadcast, and thanking you for the broadcast and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Well, great run again tonight, Anthony. That's our winner, Anthony Marano, who we will see again probably next Thursday Night Thunder here on Coast to Coast Racing Network. But with that, another Extreme E-Speed TV Thursday Night Thunder comes to a close. Of course, Shaggy had the call with the modifieds earlier this evening. I got to join the Pro Late Models here with you tonight. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you at a racetrack soon.